popping at the elbow. Instead, the shoulders coming up and doing the work. No surprise to see it going a little bit awry.
108.
And Huntley's been teasing that. He's been very close on a couple of occasions and finally lands his second maximum of the week. First maximum of the game.
58. Mike, you require 100.
To set him up on this opportunity to put himself a leg away. This is good from Huntley. He's had
Game shot on a 4 flag.
2 days of getting absolutely battered to get the job done. 3 darts, double 8. But he only needs the one. It's been a torrid 2 days for Michael Huntley. He's only won 1 game out of his 10 so far, but an underperforming Jim McKuen is the first player to suffer a setback today on this day when we had 5 players in the run-in to see who could top Group A. They'll be happy with a Michael Huntley win. A 4-1, best performance of the week so far from him, an average of 89.27. But our attention turns now to the other 4 players in the battle. Who's going to pick up the points when David Cameron takes on Evo Lexma?
David, you require 116.
Well, he did have control of the leg, but now he's got to rely on Cameron not cleaning up 116, which he might. On double 18.
Game shot on a 4 flag. David Cameron.
A 3-1 lead, that's a very, very good finish, and those could be the key moments today.
David, you require 40.
He missed that then. He missed double 10 twice as well, but this time Cameron clinches it. A 4-3 success. Evo Lexma, who now finds himself with a lot of work to do, particularly if John Michael wins the next game. He'll find himself 6 points adrift of the league leader in that situation, and that might be too big a gap to bridge. As for Cameron, things are looking up, and things may well be in his own hands. A 4-3 victory for him. He joins Mike Huntley in winning his opener, and next up it's a battle between the top 2 as John Michael takes on Bradley Roose.
In order to give him an opportunity here, and he'll just be thinking, that last leg, I've got the throat. Just stay focused.
Game shot on a 6 flag. John Michael.
What's that reaction from John Michael? Just chucked another dart in the board. And the referee had called game shot. The winning double had been hit before anybody starts. It doesn't mean he busts his score. Calm yourselves down.
24.
He's going to have more than 3 if he needs them. At least 6 darts here for Bradley Roose to cross the line and get an all-important opening win. The Dutchman does it. The meeting between the top 2 goes the way of the player that was in P2. He's now gone level on points, and he's level on legs in the table with John Michael. The pair of them sharing the lead and keeping it wide open in this thrilling finale of Group A. David Cameron now is looking to join the pair on 14 points. If he wins by the right margin, he could go top of the table. I think I'll be saying that quite a lot today. He faces Mike Huntley after the break.
Mike, you require 32.
Cameron making a mess.
Game shot.
And Mike Huntley supplying the punishment, supplying the pain. David Cameron crashes at the hands of the basement boy, who's won both of his matches today, defeating Jim McKuen and now David Cameron. Really good stuff from the Welshman. Cameron, though, crashes. He remains on 12 points. Bradley Roose, John Michael are top of the table on 14. And Michael, who lost to Roose in his opener, takes on another first round loser in Jim McKuen next.
Stayed in, he would have been on a finish. Instead, Jim McKuen got time now. But he's not had too many darts at doubles today.
Game shot on a 2nd leg. Jim McKuen.
He doesn't need too many. Well, John Michael, not just to establish out and out league topper at the moment, but probably favourite to win the group if this goes.
Game shot, undermatch, John Michael.
John Michael does pick up the points. A big win for him. It's 2 defeats for Jim McKuen. How damaging will that be for the Scotsman, who's beaten by Michael, outscored McKuen for much of that match, but did pass up opportunities to win it earlier in the end. He gets it done in a last leg decider. That's been the story in the last couple of days, and it has been the result in the last 4 matches. And another crucial contest to come next. It's a Dutch derby between Evo Lexma and Bradley Roose.
Evo, it's the
Evo,
same numbers, different order.
Game shot on a 4 flag. Evo
Beautiful
Lexma.
finish. Just when it looked like Bradley had a vice-like grip on the game. Lexma. Topsen.
45.
Not yet. And it allows Lexma the opportunity to put some pressure on here.
96. Bradley required 20. Game shot on a 6 flag. Bradley
All the
Roose.
way we go again.
Evo, you require 68.
Seesaw Super Series day may continue in that fashion. Lexma lost his first match. Roose won his first. It is just going to be the one at double 16.
Game shot
And Lexma lands
Evo
it.
Lexma.
He beats Bradley Roose, and there wasn't much engagement between the pair there. Devastatingly disappointed, Bradley Roose. Not even close. Double 5. Can't come inside.
$15.
Does come inside in the end.
John, you require
Will that
16.
spell the end?
To put himself firmly at the top.
Game shot under match. John Michael.
And that's exactly what he does. Huntley's little winning streak is ended by John Michael, the league leader, and that could be the most significant result we've seen so far in Group A. A 4-1 success for the best player from Greece, and he puts some distance between himself and the rest of the field. Bradley Roose now 4 points behind John Michael. He can close that gap, though, when he takes on David Cameron up next.
Bradley require 81.
So for 2-2, it's a good leg of darts, this from Bradley Roose. A far cry from the previous one he won. That took 26 darts.
Game shot on a
This
4
one
flag.
has
Bradley
taken
Roose.
just 11. Might
David,
climb
you
to the
require
top.
48.
Same target for Cameron. Over to the 10s. Last chance saloon.
28.
Oh, it's a fine effort, but it
Bradley
might
required 20.
be the final nail in the coffin.
2 10s.
Game shot.
Brilliant Bradley
unmatched.
Roose. Totally
Roose.
turned that tie around. 4-2 success to conquer David Cameron. And that win closes the gap to the top of the table. Bradley Roose now is just a couple of points behind John Michael. As for David Cameron, he can no longer win the group, and his attention will turn to fighting for a place in Group B. The same scenario will happen for one of the next 2 players. Whoever loses between Jim McKuen and Evo Lexma will also be out of the race. Things are getting clearer and clearer here at the Modus Super Series.
These are finding the mark, though.
180.
Tightly packed in, that tapered barrel that we spoke about, promoting the tighter grouping.
96. Jimmy required 92.
But he did thrash Evo Lexma 4-0 when they met on Monday, did Jim McKuen. And he's
Game shot
already
on the second
halfway to the
leg,
same
Jim
scoreline
McKuen.
here after a wonderful 11-darter. A 180, followed by a 92 clean-up in 2.
32.
Treble 18 for double 4. Nicely
Game shot
done
under match.
by Jim McKuen, who keeps his faint hopes alive of topping this table and making it through to finals night, but even better chance of being in Group B for Jim McKuen, and that just harms the opportunity for Evo Lexma. He won't win the group. he can't win the group. He can still get into Group B, but that is a huge dent in his chances and a huge win for a very impressive Jim McKuen. But it's back to the league leader next. John Michael faces David Cameron.
David, you require 141.
141 for Cameron to break. Yes. Options. Double 12.
Game shot on the first leg, David Cameron.
And that is an absolute blockbuster.
You require 117.
Yeah, there are some sort of ambiguous ones. That is one. No ambiguity in this, though. As Cameron crashes it in
match, David
for
Cameron.
a 117 checkout and a damaging defeat to John Michael, who loses that game 4-2. He's not happy. He knows that he had everything in his own hands, but it might have just been ripped out of his hands now, because Cameron's victory keeps Bradley Roose in the race. Roose in second place. He's going to take on Jim McKuen in a couple of games' time, but before that, Evo Lexma faces Mike Huntley. Double top then.
Game shot on the fourth flag, Evo Lexma.
And that's the Petter checkout from Evo Lexma. Being classy today.
Game shot.
And it's another one.
Mike Huntley.
Another win for Michael Huntley, who sees off Evo Lexma by 4 legs to 2. Takes his points tally to 8. 6 of those coming today. Lexma not at the races in that one, and Huntley took full advantage. Now, attention turns back to the title race, and the man in P2, Bradley Roose, looking to beat Jim McKuen to turn up the heat on John Michael. Of course, if he does lose here, Jim McKuen, that will be it for him in terms of winning the group.
180.
And again, out of nowhere,
100.
a big visit. Another one in there.
Game shot on the third leg.
Well, he hasn't
Jim
been
McKuen.
his usual sensational self on double top. And Bradley might be about to
24.
boost his. He might be becoming favourite to win this group. Double 12. Double 6. A similar dart to where he missed last time. And then he hit, and he hits again.
Bradley Roose.
And Bradley Roose is now top of the tree in Group A, and maybe ruling the roost come the end of the day. Bradley bags the points and asks the question of John Michael by beating Jim McKuen, and then there were 2 in the race to top the table and make it through to finals night from Group A. It will be John Michael or Bradley Roose, and Michael is back in action next when he takes on Evo Lexma.
21. John, you require 154.
This has to go.
And it may go.
Game shot on
It
the
has
second
gone.
leg,
That
John Michael.
is an absolute masterpiece by John Michael.
John, you require 18. Game shot.
And
Under
there
match,
it is.
John Michael.
Michael gets it done. A 4-2 success that turns up the heat.
David, you require 65.
But he
Game
couldn't
shot.
quite
Under
manage
match,
it
David Cameron.
in 2. He couldn't quite manage the 3-figure average, but he does manage a 4-0 whitewash win over Jim McKuen that sends David Cameron into 3rd place and into Group B. A fantastic display to end his campaign. You can't say he didn't deserve it after a performance like that. And it is that disastrous outcome for Jim McKuen, who will be plying his trade in Group C for the remainder of the week. What remains to be seen today is who will win the group, who will be straight through to finals night. Bradley Roose needs to win to take that place away from John Michael.
$180.
Is this the moment? Is this when he makes his move? A 180
125.
against a throw, and he will be down to a finish first. And he has these spells, these little purple patches,
137.
so often right at the right time. There's not a chance in the world he's going to go for the ball for the 10 darter here, is there?
No, not in this situation. Absolutely not.
100.
But what a leg.
Bradley
We said he
require
needed
50.
to do something big. He needed to do something big against the throw. And he's looking at an 11 dart leg. Make that 12.
Game shot on the 5th leg. Bradley
A
Roose.
dozen darter between him and a place at finals night. 36.
Game shot under match.
And Bradley Roose wins Group A. The defeat against Michael Huntley sees Roose book his place in the Saturday session. He is the first through to finals night, but spare a thought for John Michael, who has held that position all day until right at the very end. His defeat a couple of games ago coming back to bite him when he lost to David Cameron. Michael then did return to the top with a win over Evo Lexma, but the other Dutchman in the group won his last match to seal that finals night spot. And if you want to hear from the group winner, Bradley Roose, don't go anywhere. Yeah, here we're just arriving actually right now. Bradley Roose, the winner of Group A. Bradley, congratulations. Just sum up how you're feeling.
Yeah, I feel really delighted. Was a little bit nervy the last match because I knew I had to win, but you would just have to do it. So I feel really happy.
I know, Matt, you've been impressed with Bradley the last couple of days in particular. What have you liked about what he's done?
It's those middle part of the games, that sort of, when it gets to that crunch time, being able to kick on and find that extra gear. We saw that in that game as well. It was 2-2. We said he needs to find a breaker throw from somewhere, and then that massive leg, his 12 dart leg to put himself ahead. Got the advantage of throw in the last. It's that ability to go through the gears. It's what you need at that sort of top level, and he's been shown it in abundance.
It's something we have noticed, that during games when you maybe haven't been playing so well, suddenly you've been able to find an 11 dart or a 12 darter. What is it that enables you to do that?
That's difficult to say because at one point I'm struggling so much, and then at the other point, I just feel comfortable on the stage, and then again also in a match against David, and all of a sudden I hit an 11 dart leg and a 12 dart leg in a row. So I don't know actually what to say right now. So I'm really happy that I qualified myself for Saturday.
Yeah, he certainly has. The first player through to finals night. Bradley, you've been here before, you've made a final before, so how significant is it for you to do it again and show that it wasn't just a one-off?
I really want to get it one step further, because my last two finals here I lost them both. So I can energize myself up for Saturday, and then I will be back fresh here on Saturday.
Yeah, and this isn't getting any easier, is it? It's really difficult to win a Group A.
Especially this group. This has been a good group. We've got Jim McKuen in there, who's a previous champion here. We've got David Cameron, who's won a TV title before. This was a real tough group to come through. To come through on top of that, it's probably good actually to stay out of the way of groups B and C, because they're probably going to be the same sort of thing as we've been getting in this one, where they're going to be tightly contested. So absolutely, I'd rather be having the days off and just know I've booked my ticket.
Yeah, it's been so close all the way through. Let's just show you the results from today, because things have been changing all the time. For you, Bradley, is there any match there that was really, really significant? Perhaps the win against John Michael, although it was the first game today. Is there any that really stood out for you as massively important?
I think when I lost the match against Evo, I knew I was 4 points behind, because after me, John won against Mike. And then I saw David winning against John, and then I was saying to myself, it's still actually possible to win the group. So I did. This one was also really important, because I knew when I saw the schedule in the morning, I knew I had to beat John to actually make a chance. And luckily I did it, so I'm really happy.
Yeah, really important wins. There's been loads of 4-3s in this group as well. So again, having that mentality, you're the youngest player here, but to have that mentality to make sure you win those last leg deciders. That is a good habit to have.
Yeah, that's true. But in the last leg, you always need to stay calm and just see where the darts end up in the board. So I had some luck on my side today, but I think that's also what a player needs sometimes. So yeah, like I said, this group has been really good. When I saw the group at home, I was like, yeah, it's gonna be really tough. But yeah, all the guys are really good people, and so yeah, it was like a good how do you say it? Good energy for the last 3 days. So yeah, really happy.
What was that like in the back room today, though? Because going into today, 5 players could have qualified. Was it a bit quieter this morning? Was it a bit tense?
No, it was actually like the same as the last 2 days. But when John lost against David, he was saying to himself like, how could I have lost this match? So I knew he was like in a little bit of he was pumped up himself to just win the group, but yeah, I'm really happy and no words to say actually.
Yeah, and it meant, of course, you knew what you needed to do when you went on stage, so that must be a big advantage, having it in your own hands rather than being the one in the practice room hoping for a different result.
True, when you come on stage, you also have to win the match, and I was a little bit struggling in the beginning of the match. I was not happy with how my darts went into the board, but after that, with the $12 break, I knew like I really have this, so yeah, I'm really happy that I also checked the 96 with 2 darts, so yeah.
Yeah, really good finish. Let's have a look at the table then, just to confirm how this group finished up. It'll look good for you, Bradley, top of it, of course, in the end. Level on points with John Michael. Matthew, it always seemed like it was going to be a group that might be determined by leg difference.
Oh, absolutely. It's been one of those sort of, and we picked up on this sort of the mid part of Tuesday when we was getting a lot of 4-3s, and we said this is going to be one of those groups that goes tight. So everyone was beating everyone, no one was running it away, no one looked likely to sort of go through the card with picking up all the victories, and no one really produced a level of consistency at that very top end that was good enough to resist that sort of consistent base that we got from this group. So it always did seem to come down to the wire. It ultimately has, and I don't think that's the first time we see that. I think we've got very similar groups now in how the players are going to split off, the players that are coming to join us. I think we're going to have this same sort of conversation on Friday about groups B and C.
Absolutely, but you won't have to be involved in that straight through to Saturday. What's the plan between now and then?
Yeah, just enjoy it. I already qualified for Saturday, but I just want to like keep my arm good for Saturday, so I will practice tomorrow and Friday in the pub next door. So yeah, and just enjoy the moment that I already qualified for Saturday night.
Right, let's take a look at the rest of the week then. This is how the groups break down for it. So Bradley straight through as a Group A winner to finals night. Tomorrow evening, Andy Hamilton, Jeff Smith, Tommy Morris, David Cameron and John Michael. Looks like a very difficult group. And then Group C from 1 p.m, live here on the Motor Super Series YouTube channel tomorrow afternoon. Jensen Walker, Alan Norris and the ADC qualifier Shane Hayward joining Michael Huntley, Evo Lexma and Jim McKuen. Look, I'm going to ask you to play pundit for a moment, Bradley. Who do you expect? Just give us 1 or 2 names that you think will be joining you on Saturday.
I think Group B is the toughest one actually, but I think with how John Michael played the last 3 days, I think he will join me on Saturday, and yeah, I think also Jim McKuen, because yeah, he's won the series before, so he knows what he have to do tomorrow and Friday. So yeah, I think those 2 names will for sure join me on Saturday, I think.
You'd make a pundit, wouldn't you? Do you agree with that?
Some good shouts there. I'm really interested to see Jeff Smith coming in as well. He's someone I highlighted at the back end of last year as someone who could come into this, sort of be a face of this product. So it'd be good to see how he adapts to this. I think he's got that consistent base. He loves playing darts all day, every day. So this will really suit him. But Jensen Walker tomorrow afternoon, a young man, just played at the UK Open, 17 years old, picked up a win on the big stage. Really excited to see him tomorrow.
I'll just ask you actually a question about being a young player in the darts world at the moment. Of course, Luke Littler, who won here twice before Jim McKuen took that title, and what he's done has really catapulted the sport into a different sphere. Does that put any extra pressure on you other young players, or is it inspiration for you guys?
Yeah, I think every young player at the moment wants to be as good as Luke Littler is right now, but yeah, I think it also hyped up the sport a lot more because he's now in the Premier League. So, and I think that's good for the young people who are watching the darts and they are like thinking like, yeah, I want to do that also. And yeah, Jensen Walker, I played him a couple of times, but yeah, he's a really good player. So I think everyone needs to watch out for him tomorrow. So yeah, like I said, yeah, it's really inspiration what Luke Littler is doing now. Also on the Pro Tour and on TV, like he's throwing 9 darters as if it is easy, but yeah, it's really inspiration for all the young dart players at the moment.
Yeah, well, you can rest up and watch the action unfold. We'll see you on Saturday. Well done for winning Group A. Matt, thanks for your time. We'll see you tomorrow, and we hope to see you tomorrow as well. We're back on air at 1 p.m. live here on the Modus Super Series YouTube channel for the start of Group C. A double session, of course. Group B gets underway at 10. But in Group A, it was Bradley Roose who ruled the roost.